We are excited to be joined by Julian Moffat, Principal Solution Strategist in ESG at Velocity EHS. Julian, welcome to the sidebar.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for being here. So let's start off really easy. That's what is Velocity EHS's approach to analyzing ESG performance in a company?
So first and foremost, we are a software company. We focus in EHS and ESG. As far as ESG is concerned, it's really a comprehensive approach to helping customers to grapple with the large and very disparate sources of information that they need to corral as part of their ESG program and also to drive organizational change. So again, you think of how can software really help? It can really help by providing deeper insights, simplifying large data sets, helping to automate the collection and the verification of that data, and then ultimately driving hopefully action and positive change as a company goes. That last part of it, some of that will always remain in the human element. Software can only take you so far, but we do our best to try to at least provide the best available information to drive that insight and change.
That's really interesting. So ESG has recently come under attack by leaders in the Republican Party. I'm just going to say it. How is that impacting Velocity EHS and how you guys are moving forward?
Well, again, I don't want to dip my toe into the politics, but the controversy is a U.S. controversy. I mean, there's a controversy that exists in the U.S. about whether climate change is real or not, and then there's the rest of the world. I mean, that's the first thing to keep in mind. So we are our customers, even the U.S.-based customers, they are global companies. So even the question around will the rule be finalized? Will there be a change? What if there's a change in all those things? To some degree, they're almost a side conversation because the ship has already sailed. The world is moving as aggressively as it can. Many of us wish it would be a little more aggressive than it is, but it's moving. And no matter whether you believe in this or not, you can't ignore it. I mean, you have to, if you want to play in that global sandbox, if you want to have the customers that you have to do something. You can't just sit on the sidelines. So that means for us, obviously, favorable political climate helps, but it's not a make or break situation.
That's comforting to know.
Yeah, hopefully that's not one of those U.S. culture things that we export to the rest of the world anytime soon, right?
Fingers crossed.
So Julian, I was very recently a corporate sustainability practitioner myself, and thinking a lot about carbon emissions. Particularly the challenging ones to measure, the scope threes. So how does Velocity EHS and your ESG software help a company sort of address those scope 3 emissions and move forward in that space?
So one of the big challenges of scope 3 is the boundary setting. So our software helps both in terms of even some of the things like doing a double materiality assessment up front to try to determine your overall ESG boundaries, but then also your scope 3 boundaries, right? What are you going to focus on? What are you not going to focus on? Now, a lot of scope 3 is also driven by the GHG protocol, which is, of course, the playbook that companies follow. And we support the specific protocols that are outlined in the GHG protocol directly in our software, which really helps our customers because they don't have to be experts in all those things. I mean, they can use the software will help direct them. And we also work with our customers during the implementation process to make sure that they can bring whatever information they've already gathered, if they've been doing anything in these areas, get that into the software and then work from there with the solutions. So it's there's never a perfect scope 3 approach, and there's always a certain amount of estimation, right, that goes into any company's scope 3, but we try to make that as systematic as possible.
Nice. And we have a minute left. What are you excited about in the space? What sort of action do you see happening that gives you hope, that hope that we talked about at the beginning of this?
So the things that I'm most excited about is obviously the drive towards accountability. So I've been in this game for a long time. That's why I have such gray hair. And we've gone from a very loosey, voluntary, promote our brand type thing to now companies en masse committing to net zero targets. The same thing, you think of nature. You think of the social. I mean, these are sort of next generation waves, making these public commitments to actually improving DEI scores, to helping to conserve nature, not just climate, but nature itself. That's ultimately what's going to drive change. And the fact that companies, they're already ahead of their skis, but the reaction is we've made these commitments. Now we've got to scramble and figure out how to make this happen. And that's what we're going to see in the next couple of years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Super exciting stuff. Hopefully that all comes to fruition faster than we are currently seeing. Julian, thanks for joining us at the sidebar.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of Green Disc.
Thank you.